There's a new 4-wheel drive short course truck on the market. Is it another hit from Arrma? Will this dethrone the Slash 4x4? Let's check this thing out and open up the box. Rich here from the rcnetwork.com, and today we have a pretty cool unboxing of the brand new Arrma Senton 4x4. Now, what I did leave out in that title is 6S BLX. Now, of course, the Senton 6S has been on the market for a couple of years now, and it has definitely been a tried and proven platform. Now, it's kind of a 1/10 scale short course truck, but based on a 1/8 scale platform. This, my friends, is a full 1/10 scale short course truck. So it has the driveline, the power, and everything else you'd find in a traditional 1/10 scale short course truck. Now, I'm actually pretty excited about this Senton 4x4, mostly because one of my first vehicles was a Traxxas / 4x4, and this one is very similar as far as the features and specifications and everything else. Now, like I said, the Senton 6S is a complete different beast than this version right here. So if you're thinking this is the new 6S, this is definitely not. This is a lot scaled down, and it's a lot lighter, to say the least. This thing weighs in a little bit over 6 pounds, where the Senton 6S is nearing that 9-pound mark. Now, of course, this is their ready-to-run version. It comes with everything inside the box you need to start on day one. Just have to add your own AA batteries for the remote. This has a claimed speed of 30 miles per hour, and this is the brushed version of this Senton 4x4. Looking at the side of the box here, we're looking at the power module, which is basically a motor mounted to a slipper clutch as the center differential. You do have front and rear differentials that have all metal gears, and this has full ball bearings throughout. As far as electrics, this is running a 12-turn mega brushed 550 sized can motor. It does have an included 7-cell nickel metal hydride battery and 8.4 volt hump pack. They must have dug these things up from the archives over at Arrma. And then finally, a brushed ESC with removable jumper switches to get you moving to a LiPo down the road. One very interesting thing I noticed on the side of the box was a diff comparison chart here. Now at the very top, it has the Senton 4x4. The one in this box has a 51 millimeter size differential. The Nero, which I thought was pretty large for an 8 scale truggy, has a 47 millimeter, and then finally the Outcast has a 39 millimeter differential. So just to give you a size comparison chart, Arrma is definitely advertising the ease of maintenance on this Senton 4x4 with one screw to actually remove the power module here with the motor and center slipper clutch. You have about 5 screws here to remove the whole conglomerate of electronics, including the ESC and also the servo. And then finally, 4 screws to remove either front or rear differentials. So pretty easy system to work on and to do maintenance on. So let's get this thing out of the box and check out what you get inside. Before we get to the start of the show, the Senton 4x4, let's cover some of the supplemental items that come inside the box, starting with the owner's manual. Now this is kind of like a Reader's Digest version of an owner's manual. It gives you some good information, including how to get started and some warnings and all the typical things that you would find inside of the owner's manual. However, there's not really any exploded views or model numbers inside of here, so you'll have to go to their website or simply click on the little QR code here to get you over to Arrma's website. You get a bag of tools, including a T-wrench and also some Allen keys. You get some ride height adjusters for the shocks and a couple other bits and pieces, including some jumper switches for your ESC in case you lose the ones that are pre-installed. You get a boxed wall charger for charging up the included nickel metal hydride battery. And finally, the Tactic TTX 300. This, of course, is a 2.4 gigahertz radio. Good feel. It's a great RTR radio to start you out with. Has throttle and steering trims, steering dual rates, and has everything you'd want in an RTR radio. And finally, the Senton 4x4 right here. I love this thing. This thing has really got me excited about short course trucks again. I love the simple chassis layout and of course the looks of it. The tires here are pretty cool, but let's go in depth as far as what's included on this Senton 4x4. Starting with the body, I really like the color scheme of this Arrma Senton 4x4 with the red kind of fading into the kind of like Cubert cube look towards the rear with the black and gray cubes. Now what's really nice about most Arrma vehicles these days, it comes with these little body clip retainers, so it's pretty nice. You'll never lose another body clip and simply pull it off and it just kind of dangles there on the body. Taking the body off, you can really see the details of some of the decals and also the screen printing on this body. Really like the rear section right here where it has like some louvers and things to give it that realistic look. Now of course, being a short course body, you may have to trim out some of these things to let some of the air pass through to counteract the parachuting effect. Flipping the body over, it seems every season the "Don't Just Bash" blast decal gets even larger and larger. And I do like the fact that Arrma uses these little protective strips right here. These are just simple thick decals to prevent the body from losing its screen printing and also the look. So it'll keep up the durability. Also around the posts right here, which is really nice. You have them all up here on the front as well from the tires rubbing, and on the side here for the Nerf bars. Now what's really nice about these tires, these are the Fortress tires from D-Boots. They have a very aggressive lug style of design, kind of like a motocross tire, and they do mount up to standard 2.2 to 3.0 inch wheels. They do take 12 millimeter hexes and are standard short course style tires. Starting with the shocks here, these are all plastic shocks. They have plastic caps, plastic bodies, and they have little plastic boot protectors right here to keep mud and debris off of your shock shafts. Now what's really nice is the protective cover up here that's built into the shock tower. Shock tower, it appears to be about 12 millimeters thick and is super strong plastic. The front of the Senton 4x4 uses quote-unquote a double wishbone suspension with lower control arms, upper links, and also steering links. It uses telescoping universal drive shafts that are also plastic with metal joints that mount up to the front and rear differentials. It also uses standard C-hubs and knuckles that also look very stout and thick. Before we get too far, let's take a look at the underside of the chassis. Now this is a plastic tubbed chassis, and you can kind of see the modular design of the front section here and also the rear section. Just a few screws and you're able to take off the whole front or rear section of this short course truck. Looking at everything behind the front differential, we have a top plate here that is mounted up to the standard bell crank system of the steering system. You do have non-adjustable links right here that I pointed out earlier. They're not going to be adjustable to adjust your camber or toe, but I'm sure Arrma is going to offer some adjustable ones down the road. The center drive line that connects the front differential up to the center slipper clutch is a plastic drive shaft. It is telescoping here in the center, but it is pretty thick. I mean, this is about a ½ inch thick in diameter, and it seems to be pretty stout. We will have to see how this thing holds up under some lipo power. Moving back to the center power module right here where the motor mounts up to the motor plate, and then also of course the center slipper clutch. This is all one piece and can be easily removed by just a couple of screws, and then of course it has this pull tab to release it from the tub chassis. The rear of this Senton 4x4 is much of the same of the front, although we do have traditional rear hub carriers, a little bit longer shocks, and you have those same universal drive shafts that I pointed out in the front. Looking at the front and rear bumpers, they're made of plastic, but they're pretty strong. I mean, I'm giving this thing a pretty good tug, and it's not flexy bendy like some of those ones out there. It does have a little bit of flex to it, but it seems pretty well connected to the truck. Starting with some of the electronics, this is a 12-turn Arrma brushed motor. It's a 550 sized can, so it's definitely going to have some bottom end torque and some high speed with the 12-turn specification. Now, a lot of brush motors are looked down upon, but I gotta say, some of these things are really powerful, and they're actually better than some of the real cheap inexpensive brushless motors on the market. The brushed ESC is part of Arrma's Mega lineup. Now this is LiPo compatible. It has jumper switches right here to activate the LiPo cutoff notification, and it does come with a pre-installed Dean's style or T connector for the included nickel metal hydride battery. Speaking of which is the included nickel metal hydride battery, this is a 2400 milliamp 7-cell pack, so it's going to have 8.4 volts. It'll have a pretty good jolt when you first start to use it, but of course nickel metal hydrides, as you use it, it just gets slower and slower until it dies, unlike lithium polymer batteries. Now it does come with an included Dean's style or T style connector, and it does have that kind of hump in the center. This makes it very easy to mount in the included Velcro strap battery mounting tray. And finally, the Ads5 Servo right here, a standard 10 scale servo. It does have 70 inches of torque, and it'll get you started on day one. All of the included electronics are waterproof, so you're able to go out there, splash around in some mud puddles, and get this thing going even when it's wet outside. Well guys, that is my first look at the brand new Arrma Senton 4x4. I am pretty excited about this vehicle. It's a traditional style of four-wheel drive short course truck, and it's what got me started in the hobby. I look forward to see how many new people get started with this truck versus some of the other ones on the market, but I'd love to hear your thoughts about this. Do you think this is a hit or miss from Arrma? Please leave your comments down below in the comments section. Well guys, as always, I love having you guys here at the channel. Thank you for checking out the RC Network this year in 2017. Lots of new stuff coming, lots of old stuff that I've already filmed, but I love having you guys here at the channel. Well guys, that is it for now. Comments, questions on down below, and as always, thumbs up and subscribe. That's it for now guys. Over and out.